Kessler.
How many
Archfiend summons.
does it take to get to the
8 negate board.
Come out, Infernity Archfiend. Infernity Archfiend lets me add a card to my hand. Come out, Infernity Archfiend. Infernity Archfiend. Infernity Archfiend. Infernity Archfiend.
What's going on, guys? LoganJYA here, and before we hop into this Infernity 2021 deck profile, I want to do a test hand for you to show you what the ceiling of the deck looks like. This is not a synchro variant, and you're not going to see a lot of new support cards, but you will see how capable this deck truly is. Now, it's fragile, it's got a lot of downsides, but it still sure as heck is fun to play, and if you get to go off, you can make an unbreakable board. And I mean that seriously. So let's just get right into it before we start this profile. Opening hand is not too shabby. I think we can work with this. So let's get started. We've got a Barrier, an Apocalypse, and a Mirage, a Necromancer, and a Tsuchinoko. Let's see what we can do to make this work. So starting things off with the Void Apocalypse here. And then we are going to pitch our Necromancer. I know it sounds weird, right? We're not pitching the Snake, getting the free summon back. No, trust me, we want to dump that Necromancer into the grave since we have the Mirage in hand. So we're going to dump that Necromancer and send our copy of Archfiend from the deck to the graveyard. We're really going to want to maximize having that Mirage in hand. And don't worry, we're going to make use of that Snake. We're just going to make use of him in a moment. So we will normal summon our Mirage over here, doesn't really matter where, and we'll set this down, face down, and we'll use our Snake, burn it, just special summon it for free. It doesn't matter. We need the empty hand for the handless combo. Now we've got both of our targets in the graveyard. We're going to sack off that Mirage and summon them back, our Necromancer and our Archfiend. Archfiend effect to search, heck yes. We are going to grab ourselves a Launcher. Launcher is our crutch in case we come into tight circumstance. We're going to need to rock the house. We want to have that Launcher in rotation in case we get into Beerud, in case we get interrupted. Second you have this thing up, you can feel pretty safe that you're going to be able to continue to play through an interruption. So we'll link these two guys off into anything. It does not matter that much right now. I think I'm going to go for a IP Masquerena on the top. Then we are going to use Necromancer's effect in the graveyard to summon back Archfiend. Archfiend effect is going to grab us the second copy of Necromancer out of the deck. Now you might be wondering why. We already have one Necromancer in rotation. Well, the second copy is near essential. You got to trust me on this one, guys. So we're going to use Launcher's effect to pitch this Necromancer to the graveyard. We're going to link all these guys off into an Appaloosa on top. Now the most important thing we've already achieved. We've got two Necromancers in rotation, and before we resolve Launcher. This is a great stepping mark to recognize when you're going through your combo, because it means that you're pretty much all set to go all the way. So we're going to sack off that Launcher, bring back two Necromancers over here. Necromancer effect, summon Archfiend. Archfiend effect is, yeah, we'll go for Patriarch. We'll go for Patriarch. 100%. Want to maximize our card economy. Again, sorry about that, guys. Had to think. It's not the easiest thing. Special summon Patriarch, overlay, summon Dugaris. Now, normally I'd like to bring back a Necromancer off of Dugaris, but in this situation, we're going to sack two, bring back Archfiend. Archfiend effect to search. Grab us a Barrier here, 100%. Grab Barrier, throw that up. Excellent. Set that face down. Link 2 over here. We're going to go for our Nightmare Cerberus on the far right. I find that it helps to start off with this one out of our pieces in the Tri-Gate lock. Next, we're going to use our unused Necromancer to summon back Archfiend. Archfiend effect is going to search out a monster to special summon from our hand, and you'll see why in a moment. So we're going to add a Mirage here. Next, we're going to go for our Cherubini. Our Cherubini is going to go right underneath our Appaloosa with our two Necromancers. Since we don't have Stygian Street Patrol in rotation, this is absolutely a vital step. Cherubini effect is going to send from deck to graveyard a copy of Rhino, and Rhino will send Stygian since he is a fiend. Next, we'll use Stygian effect, banish, special summon our Mirage, and then next we'll link for the Tri-Gate in the middle here. Yep, just like so. There we go. And then we can use our Mirage effect, tag out that Mirage, get ourselves the two copies of Necromancer back in rotation. We'll use Necromancer effect, summon back Archfiend. Archfiend effect, grab Barrier. You guys know the drill by this point. So we'll grab our Barrier right here. There we go. Throw it down, face down over here. And next we can link off our used Necromancer and our Archfiend to finish off our Tri-Gate lock. Nightmare Phoenix right there. So we've got our Tri-Gate lock to establish the Omni Negate. Necromancer effect, summon Archfiend. Archfiend effect is going to grab our last Negate out of the deck. and that is our Infernity Suppression. You can grab this earlier in the combo if you like. If anything, this should probably be your first search instead of the barrier, but it's kind of it doesn't really matter, right? Because we already have our Apollousa on the field. We got it so early that it wasn't such a big deal. It's just an extra monster effect negate that also burns. It's a pretty fun card. So let's take a look at our end board here. Pretty freaking wild. Of course, we did have a strong opening. We had to work a little bit to get there, and there's a lot of avenues that take you to this same end board. And again, there are choke points, but it is crazy. When this deck goes off, it goes off. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 Omni Negates with another 3 plus 4. That is 8 Negates total. We got 4 monsters, 4 Omni Negates. This one's reoccurring. We have protection for our Archfiend. So people will be like, oh, you can just run over Archfiend and then all your barriers are dead. Haha, not true. Banish Patriarch from grave, protect Archfiend. Gotcha. That's simple, guys. So let's get into the deck profile. What's going on, guys? LoganJYA here, bringing you my Infernity deck profile. As you guys saw in that test hand, the end boards are crazy with this list. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, it's inconsistent, and it's a really hard deck to learn, but when it goes off, it goes off. Trust me on that one. So we're going to go through the list, and again, I'm looking for your advice, guys. If you've got some feedback for me to make this deck even better, I want to hear from you. Without further ado, let's get into it. Starting things off with our 1 copy of Inferni Archfiend while we wait for the other 2 to come off the ban list. I can feel it. This is going to be the one. We're going to get him back. Follow that up with the 1 copy of Infernity Patriarch. This is a once per turn special summon from hand that also has a grave effect to protect an Infernity from destruction on the field by banishing it from the graveyard, just like a Salamangreat Balinx. Follow that up with 2 copies of Necromancer. I'm very between 2 and 3 on this card. You need 2 to have easy access to your full combo, but in hand, especially in multiples, it can be tricky, it can be clunky. Again, I'm back and forth on this one, so this one might be bumped back up to 3. Right now I'm testing it with 2, but again, that can be changed. 1 card that I do say you have to play at 3 is Inferni Mirage. This card is essential to your combos because it's bringing back your 2 Necromancers to summon back your Archfiend and continue your plays. You're summoning it off of Stygian Street Patrol, or you're summoning it off of YuGiOh. It's literally soul charge for 2 Infernities from grave. Continuing on from here, we've got triple copies of Stygian Street Patrol to special summon your fiends out from your hand. Really strong card. Follow that up with double tour guide from the Underworld. Now, I know this card is at 3. You don't have to tell me in the comments. The reason why we don't play 3 of this card is because if you see 2 copies of it in your hand, it's insanely clunky. You can only normal summon 1. You have to get the other one out by discarding it or by specialing it off of a Stygian Street Patrol. And this is not the kind of card you want to summon that way. So we choose to only play 2. I know it's strong, but it's what we got to do. Follow that up with the 1 of Rhino. The Fiendish Rhino sends your Archfiend Eris, which we have right here as a 1 of. Archfiend Eris searches Archfiend, or it sends Stygian Street Patrol. So you've got options to send off this, and it's a great send target to summon off of Tour Guide or to send off of Cherubini. You've got options on that one. Next, we're going to go into the Danger package. We're playing Triple Mothman. Again, helps empty out your hand and is a generic extender. Follow that up with 1 Jackalope and 1 Tsuchinoko. I'm bouncing also between playing a Nessie in here and not playing a Nessie. That's another thing that I've been floating. More dangers equals more gas, and you'll see some cards that I'm playing that I'm thinking about switching out for more gas, but right now, this is the lineup. Moving on, spells now. We're playing Triple Dark Ruler No More and then 2 Forbidden Droplets. One of these should definitely be a Droplets. Droplets helps empty your hand. It contributes to the handless combo, of course. But yeah, I only own 2 copies, right? So that's why we got the 2 Droplets in there. However, I've been thinking about cutting 2 Dark Ruler No Mores, in theory, because they should be 3 Droplets, for more gas. So I want to hear what you guys think about that. It does let you go second. You can't play hand traps in a deck like this. So I think there's a lot of value to be had with these cards, but again, something I'm floating. Moving on from there, Triple Void Apocalypse. This card is insane. This is it's literally a continuous Foolish Burial for your fiends, helps empty out your hand, and this plus Stygian Street Patrol gets your plays started, because you can send your Archfiend Eris, search your Infernity Archfiend, banish your Stygian, and start your plays. It's really great combo starter. Follow that up with 2 Perform Pop-Ups. You want me to be completely honest, I hate this card, but you need to empty out your hand and dig deeper, and that's what this does. It inflicts burn, and if it gets ashed, you cry, but it's a necessary evil. Following that up, we're moving into the 1-ofs now, the Power 1-ofs. Best card in the deck, Inferni Launcher. When you open this sometimes and you still have plays, like, it's great. It's your crutch. It's awesome not having to search this. It really can save your butt. It lets you play through interruptions. Obviously, it's soul charge for Infernities. It's insane. I don't know if that one's coming back to multiples anytime soon, but hey, sure as heck would put a smile on my face. Follow that up with the One of Monster Reborn, another cracked card that lets you continue your plays. It serves as an extender or a starter, depending on what your hand looks like. Followed up with 1 copy of Foolish Burial for obvious reasons, a lot of things you want to dump. 1 copy of Into the Void and 1 copy of Upstart Goblin. These cards effectively do the same thing. Again, if you do your combo properly, you're not going to have any cards in your hand at the end of your turn, so the cost on this does not matter. Follow that up, I am playing 1 copy of 1-for-1 to summon a Mirage and empty out hand, and 1 copy of Card Destruction. This is significantly better than the Performer Pal Popper Up. If this came to multiples, that'd be wonderful, because it does not send for cost, and it can trigger things like your Archfiend Heiress. But yeah, so playing the 1 Card Destruction. Then moving on to the trap cards, Triple Barrier, 1 Suppression. You can search the Suppression early in your combo to be safe. Doesn't stop the biggest choke point, which is on the resolution of an Archfiend. Getting hit with a Nibiru or a Droll and Lockbird will really hurt, but it still is nice to have as an additional interruption, and it can come up and it punishes players that don't know what the deck does. So that's it for the main deck, 40 cards on the money. Let's move into the extra deck real quick. We've got 1 copy of Cherubini for Foolish Barreling level 3s, really relevant. 1 copy of IP Masquerena. 1 copy of Barrowboard Blocker. Again, never use this card's first effect to discard, because the end phase add back is mandatory. So you will have to add back your launcher and you will brick all of your barriers. Do not do it. Follow that up with 1 Nightmare Cerberus and 1 Nightmare Phoenix to complete your Tri-Gate lock, and 1 Nightmare Unicorn for your utility and going into Access Code Talker. Follow that up with 1 copy of Tri-Gate Wizard for the Tri-Gate lock, obviously. 2 copies of Seryuja Skulldread, lets you summon from hand. Seldom will you ever use the draw effect, unless you're digging for a Stygian Street Patrol. Most of the time, you're just using this to special summon out a Necromancer or a Mirage from your hand. Next, we got the 1 copy of Apollosa, protect from hand traps, 1 Boral Sword to finish games, and 1 Access Codes to finish games even harder. And that is it for your Link monsters. Again, this is majority a Link climb deck. We also play 2 copies of Levier the Sea Dragon to special back your Stygian Street Patrol by using 2 Necromancers. Comes up all the time, essential card. And then the 1 copy of Dugaris the Timeless to bring back a Necromancer or an Archfiend from grave to keep your combo going. And that's 15 card extra deck, bringing the extra to a close. Let's wrap this thing up real quick with a side deck. Your side deck can vary. Again, this is not a super competitive deck, but this is how I'm choosing to play it, keeping everything that goes into the deck strategy in mind. Triple Evenly Matched, something that I've considered playing in the main deck. I used to play in the main deck in my old builds, but as of right now, I've moved it to the side in exchange for Dark Ruler and Droplets. Might change, but that's how we have it right now. Followed up with Triple Impermanence, one of the few hand traps we're actually able to play because it's an actual trap card that you can send to the back row. Follow that up with Triple Cosmic Cyclone and 1 Harpy's Feather Duster to fight through back row when you're going second, as well as double Lightning Storm to fight through back row when you're going second. And then the last card we play is Triple Artifact Lancia. This kills a virtual world, it does great against Dino, there's a lot of matchups where this card is relevant, and the cool thing about this hand trap is, once again, you can set it to the back row to de-brick your hand and play through your combos. So it's not a complete dead draw. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you today for this Infernity deck profile. Let's make sure that Infernity Archfiend comes back to 3. If you want to see him come back, be sure to smash that like button. I'll send your message straight to Konami. And yeah, let me know what you think. If you have advice for this list, please let me know in the comments down below. That's all I got for you guys today. LoganJYA signing off. Have a great day.